Hi there, I am Rafiat Adekunle, and this is the first of my series of videos called Walk With Me. Walk With Me is a series of videos where I would share small little nuggets using my life experiences in my walk with God. So it's about you walking with God through my life or learning whatever you can learn from my life. And as it's the first, I thought the best place to start is when my journey actually started with God. And that will go back to my first year in medical school, probably 1980, around about that time. And due to a series of events in my life, I found myself starting medical school with the understanding that I was going into a healing profession, but understood that at the end of my life, I will not be getting into paradise. And you say, why was that? Well, that was because I had a termination of pregnancy just prior to starting medical school, as the person involved was not prepared to have a family. And that in itself was a challenging decision, but that is a story for another day. In any case, I started that. That was my mindset starting medical school. And I met with a lovely lady who is still my best friend. And due to a conversation we had, I started going to church, not to be converted, but actually looking for evidence to make holes in her faith. And so, sort of fast forward that, this particular lovely day I was in church and the preacher said, God loves everybody. And I thought to myself, you don't know what you're talking about. He can't love me. And as if he heard what I said, he said, it doesn't matter what you've done, God loves you. And I just scoffed and I went, you're just talking nonsense here. And then I heard a voice in my heart that said, but I do love you. Now, I knew I wasn't going crazy. I was already of the view that those Christians who speak their spiritual language were crazy doulas. And I knew I wasn't one of them. So I said, right, okay, I'm not going crazy. There's nobody else around me saying this. So I guess you must be their God. And I said, if you are God, how can you love me? Don't you know what I have done? I have killed a child. And he went, I do know, but I still love you. And I said, well, you can't love me. They tell me you can't love me. And he said, and that was the pivotal event in my life at that moment. He said to me, but I do love you. They lied. They don't know me. And in that moment, I had an overwhelming experience of being drowned in his love. And I knew that this person really knew me inside out and loved me despite that. And I came out of that and I went, but how can you? And he said, I don't see what you've done. I see what my son has done. And I said to him, I don't want this feeling of being loved totally and being understood and accepted. I don't want this to go away ever in my life. What do I do? And he said, accept my son. And I went, your son? Who's your son? And he said, Jesus. I said, that prophet they've been talking about? And he said, yes. And I said, is that all? And he went, yes. And I said, are you sure? I love my conversations with God. He allows me to say these things. And he said, yes. And I went, okay. That was the total summation of my walk with God in actually saying yes, as the Christians will say, giving your life to Jesus. And I did that. But it took him almost 7 years to deal with stuff before I came to the point where I could give him all my heart. Now, why do I say this? I say this because there are decisions we would have made in life. And at the moment we were making those decisions, this seemed like the right thing to do. And it may have been. But even if what we have done is contrary to what God desires for us, his love is such that he will continue to pursue us and he will draw us to him until we get to know him. And the other point I want to make in this is, in your own life, you find out the facts for yourself and make the decisions that are right for you based on what you know. And sometimes that knowledge thing is a hang-up. You may not know the full facts, but listen to your heart, because it will always guide you right. Your head wouldn't, but your heart would. And if you actually have a connection to your own higher being, who to me is God, then you will know that in that place, what you're getting from him is what is right for you. And that could be in your relationships. It could be with your own relationship with yourself. It could be decisions you need to make in your business, decisions you make in your organization, how you lead people. Be guided by the truth. But the most important thing for me was the ability to know that I'm loved, valued, and cherished by God. And that's why Easter is a very important time to me. It's probably more important to me than Christmas. Because if Jesus was born and never died and rose again, then all of this is not true. But there's evidence to show that he was born, he did die, and he rose again. And my journey in my life shows that experience of how he's guided me. And everything he does comes from a place of love. So it's no surprise, therefore, that everything I do comes from a place of love. Love is everything, and God is love. But please, make your own decisions. Find out the facts. Don't listen to what people say. Read. You are able to do that. Read and let God guide you to the right decision. I am thankful and grateful for being forgiven. I'm thankful and grateful for God and his direction in my life. And it is that same that I want to share with you. Well, that's it for today. I hope that blesses you in some sort of way. I would love to hear comments about it. I'm more than happy to chat with anybody about it. If you just want to connect with me via my website, and I will drop the link down below. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.